Hello everyone, welcome back to the lab. It's been a long time since I post any video or any profiles compared to the last time. If you've been following my Facebook at least, I've been recently just playing some small tournaments. Last weekend, I actually went to quote unquote Philly Regional. It's just a cash tournament mainly, and I was lucky enough. I got 7 rounds. It was like about 80 people, 79 people, I think. After 7 rounds, I end with X2, 5-2, sliding, made the top eight, and there you go. That's the profile as you see in the title. And I played Drytron. It's more, should I say more standard or not? Probably not. It's like, as you see in the thumbnail and the picture right now, it's a Dragoon kind of Drytron. But I do have a couple thing that's like different than the standard that we'll cover in a minute. So I guess without further ado, let's hop into this random regional deck profile that I think it's different than others, but we'll see. So as you see the list, it is 42 cards in the main. I tried to build a 40 as I think it will be. Although yeah, it has higher chance for me to draw the vanilla, but I still try to make a 40 just to make as consistent as I can because I still have higher chance to draw the combo pieces I want. But I tried and was not able to do it, and 42 will just be the next number I choose. And there you go, I enter 42. As the first row, you see just all the Drytron cards. 1 Draconis, 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta, 2 Gamma, 1 Delta, and 1 Beta. Um, I guess we'll cover a little bit of spell. Plus, really, let me see, there should be 5 more Drytrons. So let's move the Draconis away. So 11, 5. There's total 16 Drytron names out of the 42 card deck. I only play 2 Nova, 2 Emergency, as there's a couple people asking me the reason. I had issue drawing double, like, pairs of Nova or pairs of Emergency, the duplicates, in my opening hand. And because of that, can't really handle is 3 each. I know a lot of other Drytron players, like I've talked to on both Discord, real life, every fucking where. Almost everyone's playing like 3-3, maybe even some number of field spell. I just couldn't handle with it. Really can't. 2 Nova, 2 Emergency will just be the better like number of the Drytron, like the non-Drytron card, the Drytron spell um, for me, because at least like if I draw a pair of alpha, just I can still alpha tribute alpha, right? If I draw Nova, one of the Novas dead in my hand, and that the second copy of Nova is not possible to participate into any kind of combos. Can't even serve as a body or tribute. Um, it's like even you draw like two alpha, or multiple alpha or zeta, they can worst case either be tributed as another Drytron's cost or be tributed for your ritual spell. And then, but if you draw the like 2 Novas, they just can't do that. Therefore, after I really tested quite a bit, I just can't handle with 3 each. So 2 each is the maximum number I can play, plus the actually, for the YCs, I played like what at this point almost a month ago. I was playing 3 Nova, and then with no field spell, no Fafnir. Um, still see a couple hands where I opened the 2 Novas. If those were Nova plus any other Drytron, I will win the game, but it has to be 2 Novas, so I couldn't do it because I just lost. And after the YCs, I realized, yeah, 3 Nova is literally just the worst, slightly worse version of 2 Nova, 1 Fafnir, right? So that will be, because Fafnir can, worst case, get you another ritual spell instead of forcing to stuck on the Nova being the Nova. So at the end, I this is the lineup I choose. However, The trade-off being the like the lower bottom, the lower ceiling, the lower baseline. I will have less chance drawing double emergency or double nova. But the ceiling is also lower because I have slightly lower chance to see the Drytron names because I have naturally slightly less Drytrons. I also have slightly less chance to see the better Drytrons being I have less copies of Alpha, less copy of Zeta compared to your max out every single one of those. Therefore, what I did was I have a good amount of Drytron, actual Drytron names, like 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta, those are mandatory. 2 Gamma, I've seen people playing 1 Gamma, 2 Gamma, or even 3 Gammas, but 2 at the end are the one I choose. Really like to have 2, not the one you want to start, but once you're able to start, is always the one you want to have access to. 2 Gamma is fine. And in addition to those, still 1 Delta, 1 Beta to kind of compensate the missing Nova and missing Emergency. Um, and because of that, my total number of Drytrons are actually still about the same as everyone or quote unquote standards. Um, but overall, I don't regret doing this. I actually will still continue playing this ratio. Really love to just see different cards in my opening hand because that means at least I don't have that I don't have like the dead duplicates. So these are the Drytrons. Draconis is needed. At this point, it's probably just common sense for Drytrons. So the second row is well, except the last one. The majority of the second row are the fairy engine. That's why the deck is broken. I don't play Ida 10. I don't play Natasha and the main, as you see, it's already inside. Those two cards, in my opinion, are garnets. Natasha has the greater effect barely happens. Like game 2 and 3, you play Ida 10, your Ben 10 Ida 10 is not gonna stay in the graveyard. You either abuse the heck of them at that point you don't need to Natasha, or these you just get fucking Psycho Reader at the very beginning. So you will not have access to it anyway. So Natasha is only here. I guess we'll cover Natasha. I still play Natasha because it's your win con in well about time because the first effect still gain life. Besides that, barely matters. Um, like this card can just have no Cyber Angel in the name and only the healing effect. I will still play it because of time. And the part of the fairy Ida 10 is fucking Garner like um you can make Beatrice as much as you can with just Ben 10 because all you need is Diviner Ben 10. And if your Diviner get really stopped, that turns off the level, so Diviner is stuck at level 2, not level 6. At that point, you're not really able to ritual summon that many times to just get like either 10 and Ben 10 out to make a Beatrice. Or if you do, then those kind of hands are like so good, like you can do whatever, honestly. There's like enough board, enough um enough things you can pivot to after if your diviner gets like Impermo Valor or even Ash. So like if for example if diviner get really stopped, it's not level 6. So in theory, in my build, I have absolutely no way to make Beatrice, right? I can just pivot into Draconets plus Dragoon, and the board is still good enough. Or if I'm still able to just tribute summon Benton as many times as I can, and then I can still end with Ultimus plus a good amount of fairies in my hand with a Dragoon. So yeah, either 10 just not needed. Like I've when I was testing with Ida 10, it's always just orange target or service no card. Like I can play probably just any like I can play a vanilla light fairy ritual and it will be the same as my Ida 10s. Yeah, so that's another thing I don't play. Really don't think I need to play. If you play the Drytron deck at least enough times, you'll realize the really main engine are your Drytrons and not the fairy. You want your Drytrons to access the fairy and turn on the fairy, but if you're only stuck with just fairies, those cards are actually garbage. Those cards are so costly to even operate and usually not even worth. and the Drytrons are the ones that plus. So by that definition, you should be playing as a necessary amount of just Drytrons, and the same time minimize and play the minimum required non-Drytron engine cards, which is the fairy amount I play. I see some people play one Ava, two Orange. At this point, your fairy lineup just not strong enough to even do anything. I feel like having Ultimates with only three in hand is like still breakable. So I mean, uh, Orange is something don't mind to see at least game ones because you don't have the best answers to a lot of the decks. So I would say, yeah, this is reliable choose. The two vanillas. Oh my god, these two are. I hate these two cards so much. But at the same time, Dragoon, unfortunately, is probably the best card in the current format, in the current card pool, and they're just forced to play it. Really don't like to, but don't have a choice. I do play the some amount of hand traps, 3 ash 2 draw. These are served the last non-engine cards in the deck. I don't like to play 3T. 3T, I think it's another contributor to bricks. Um, you can just opening like three when 3T is resolving, it's definitely good. But when I was playing 3T, 3T having an issue where just be you can't even do things like your hand can consist of bunch of possible vanillas, bunch of random, no purpose, like normal summons, bunch of blue cards that cannot do anything unless you see something. So the chance of you having a 3T with nothing to even trigger your opponent's hand trap is actually high enough to a point I'm kind of scared to play 3T. Like there's so many Dragoon format. There's quite a good amount of hand trap in the format. 3T should be good, but not in this one. I'm just brick with 3T quite often, and kind of scared about it. Couldn't handle it. Didn't play it. Didn't regret it honestly. The other card is Droplet. Droplet is nice, but if I play Droplet, really have to fit no hand traps in the main, or I have to be replacing the hand trap slots, right? And I mean, I really like the ratios in my sides. So I couldn't really fit anything. Still, I think hand traps are better. Ash covers everything. Draw, I was like, there should be a little bit more Drytrons in the format, so draw should be decent at least. So that's the ratio. It's the monsters. I think I pretty much covered everything I could be playing different, right? Yeah. Spells. I already covered the Drytrons, Nova Fafnir, Emergency Furia, so those are there. The two ritual spell. This is something I don't see a lot of people playing, but there are some combos you just need or very nice to. I think there are some combos you need to ritual spell. Forgot which exactly. It's those wonky ones, probably like what Delta plus Ritual plus Divine or those kind of hands. It's good to have the two Ritual. Never regretted not having a second Ritual. There are actually games I lost because I don't have the second Ritual. Rarely happens, but definitely happened before. Um, this kind of serves the same purpose as the second Edaton. Well, no, not the second. The second ritual spell is like similar purpose as the Ida 10, but second ritual has more purpose to use. Like I'm fine just raw open Medianus and still search a second copy Medianus through either Zeta or Diviner, and then just get to summon my Benton more often. There are also opening hand. For example, I can open. I guess that would be like a little bit too long. For example, Ultiminus, Alpha, Zeta, Ritual Spell plus a Fairy. Or, I guess not that Fairy, this Fairy. Like, this is kind of the best opening hand I can possibly get because I can start with Ritual Spell, the Ultiminus out, then full combo with another Fairy to protect it. It rarely happens, but definitely happened before. That's why I read second Rituals, but I can't really fully explain it, but I like it more than Ida 10. That's I guess what I should say. So that's where it's at. I still think this is just the second one I just need it sometimes. I fucking hate this. Like, this is honestly, out of these three cards, this is the better one to draw, but it's still not the one you want to draw. Instant and folded, no, instant and callback grief for anti-hand trap. This card is never moving out of my deck, I think. Three pots are, if you play Drytron, you kind of you just need three pots. Pot fix everything. Um, Pot is like one of the, probably not the best, but at least one of the best cards in the game right now. If you don't have a combo piece, you find a combo piece. If you have combo piece but no protection, you go try to use pot to pair up your orange light to serve protection for the combo. If you already have everything, then you already have everything. Doesn't matter what else you have. You can still pot for something extra, just why not, right? Yeah, pot is definitely good. So I guess this is the main deck. Um, a couple special things like no Eda 10, the ritual, the Drytron numbers. Those are the special part. Those are the hand traps. Um, yeah. Don't think I would change anything after testing. The only thing I would change is like maybe Ash and Draw, the non-engine part, but I barely even call these as changes. The core engines, nah, I probably don't need to touch. Extra deck. Should I go through extra deck? Actually, yeah, I'll go through extra deck. Um, Mubeus, Beatrice, Nightingale, Zeus, standards. Double Arclight Netus, standard. Second Arclight comes up quite a bit because that's actually a follow up. If you only play one, your Diviner turn 3 has nothing to search. And funny enough to say, it's pretty hard to draw a Drytron card off the top, turn 3, as follow up to turn on all your Drytrons in the graveyard to even kill your opponent. That just barely happens to me. I always draw like another hand trap that, well, if it's in other version, will be another non-engine card that just doesn't work. And so having the Diviner at turn 3, mill the second Arclight to search the Draconets that you shouldn't really get turn 1, is pretty good. Then you turn on every single Drytron and kill your opponent. Because otherwise, you might stuck there and not be able to do things. Uh, Million Eyes for instant fusion. The construct. I guess we'll skip the construct for now. Dragoon Anaconda, the package, the car that people hate the most. Please ban this things, Konami. And then Link Creable Phoenix Force Sword. Alright. The links are something I'll say kind of changed recently when I was building this. I took out IP, and because I realized majority of the time I would just want to end on Dragoon instead of IP, and having both of them in my extra deck and only use one of them kind of feel less efficiency. Because if you have ultimateness, doesn't matter what else you have, um, you should be able to win. Like if it's resolving. If it's not resolving, that doesn't matter what you have. It's just probably not enough, right? And then Dragoon is kind of needed to just exist in the deck, so you have things to do after to pivot from being hand trap to do a lot of things. And IP seems kind of unnecessary because I like having Dragoon package in the deck but not ending on Dragoon turn 1. I don't like it. It's just really not efficient in my opinion. So I just cutting the IP. Because I cut IP, Unicorn is a lot harder to make and kind of less needed. So Unicorn got replaced by Phoenix, and because Unicorn left the deck, there's no Links 3 left in the deck. Access Code become significantly weaker. To a point, uh, if I want to kill my opponent, Boros is better. So Access Code got replaced by Boros, so Unicorn got replaced by Phoenix. Also, Phoenix has the cool trick where you can link cripple Phoenix, calling draw a card. Um, don't think it happened in a tournament because I played majority combo. Wait, no, because I pop first. I usually bash either one of them, but whatever. And then because of all those changes, I somehow feel kind of empty for my extra deck. And because I want to fit something in the side, I moved the construct to the main. or to the extra lanes of leaving it aside. The construct has a cool trick where it's actually a life fairy. Um, so it's actually a diviner target. When will you mill it? No, usually never. It's usually the first card batch of the pot because it has no purpose leaving here. But it definitely happened where I think I got drolled after sighting, or yeah, I got drolled after sighting when I was going first, and I still had to normal summon diviner for another monster to end on Anaconda Dragoon Draconets, if I remember correct. So I was like, instead of milling anything unnecessary from the main, I'll just mill something unnecessary for my extra. And this is another extra fairy for just in case another fairy in the graveyard for Ava later in the game. But that game didn't last long enough for this to matter, so never really mattered. I guess since I started Construct, this should all package in my side. That's the thing. If you see my Facebook, that I played this in devices remote already. Very good package. While I was practicing for, well, was preparing for the YCS, I was looking for things that can cover the tribal game matchup, or specifically Appaloosa Revolt the best. There's very few things in the whole game that covers those two cards at the same time. Lightning Storm can cover either or, but Lightning Storm only covers one side. Chalice or even Droplet can cover either or, but it doesn't cover both of them at the same time. Even like use droplets, like you pretty much have to use the droplet to stop the Appaloosa. Then your opponent will even like have a chance to flip the revolt. So after look through a lot of things, the only thing that narrowed it down that's like realistically playable or possible for me for that situation is the Shadow Fusion. You can go Shadow Fusion, mill Dragon and Ariel, summon your App Cologne, go Dragon 1, target the Revolt, App Cologne 2, target Appaloosa, Ariel 3, chain blocking, and they're welcome to Revolt Challenge before and then summon Shurak Banisher App Cologne, but you are the whole board at that point. And then you can just play your normal Drytron like you are intended to. And in matchup outside like Appaloosa Revolt from Tri-Brigade, Shadow Fusion is good against like Saddle Striker, because you can just send Construct and either of the Shadow, usually Dragon, to hit a back row. Shadow Fusion resolving means you can either mill a Drytron, which is good. You can mill a Ava. Ava, like I remember I said earlier, Construct is actually a fairy, and Ava can actually banish from the field. So even if you have nothing in the graveyard, resolving Shadow Fusion, you can just Ava banish the Construct and grab your Diviner. So Shadow Fusion is technically an MST plus a Rhoda for Diviner, or MST plus or MST plus Foolish for Drytron. And that's pretty much the main use of Shadow Fusion. It's only kind of mediocre against Mirror Match, but like you see next and also in the main, I have plenty of things for Mirror Match. Like Mirror Match, you only have to just rely on Entrap. There's nothing else really helpful for that. So Cycle Readers for the Mirror Match specifically, um, yeah, pretty much. Like these cards, Cycle Reader plus Shadow Fusion, pretty much covered every single thing, every single like at least the top tier decks in the format. And then Natasha of Time, like I said, I really think this card is just a Garnet that gain life. But the second FF barely matters. Um, then the last ones are Three Twin, Duster, and Reboot. I wasn't playing Duster before, but considering I'm going to a quote unquote regional, I'm expecting slightly less competitive and be a little bit more rogue. Therefore, I tossed the Duster in just in case, which Didn't regret it. I mean, because I get to move my construct to the extra desk, so I have the extra spot. And three Twing and Reboot. Twing and Reboot are actually not the ideal back row move in the format. Ideally, you want Lightning Storm. However, there's just kind of quite a bit of anti spells existing. Both from like, I've got anti spell from both what Tri Brigade, Salad, well, sometimes Trinkets. And then the only time Twin is worse than Lightning Storm, or significantly worse than Lightning Storm, is against Striker. Pretty much it, right? Yeah. Even Eldritch. Yeah, Eldritch can also anti-spell you. Eldritch probably will anti-spell you. Guru can also anti-spell you. And then that's pretty much it. Like the only back row deck that doesn't anti-spell you is Striker. And then that's like such a little portion compared to everything else. So Twing is just the better back row move. I mean, I still have Duster if worst case, right? It's this join Duster still will just wipe everything from Striker. So that's the back row removals for whatever the first of these doesn't cover. Like should offer in worst case is MST because you always get to Mill Dragon when resolving. So not bad, not bad. That's I guess that's all deck. That's what I kind of have. What I've been playing recently. Will I change anything? Depends on how many more dragoons now, but I will say probably not. Probably not. I don't think it will be too many changes I need to do. My tournament, I played 7 rounds. Start with 4-0. Forgot what I beat, honestly. Then lost a mirror match because I won game 1, I lost game 2. Game 3, I got drolled. I ended with Drake on his Dragoon, and my opponent dropped on me after, then Dragoon burned for game. So that couldn't do anything. That was first loss. Second loss, I think was a BA. It was like a trap BA. Game 1, he went first, and it was like Beatrice back row search cycle reader. Beatrice Dragoon back row search cycle reader. Couldn't deal with it. Game 2, I won. Game 3, no, I won game 1. Game 2, that's what I saw, like Beatrice Dragoon cycle reader. Game 3, I opened very bad, including Vanilla. Was it Vanilla or Vanillas? I don't remember. And my opponent, of course, have hand traps. So that's how it went. Then final round I won, so and it was X2, but my losses were both X2 at I think both my losses were X2s. So I ended up being relatively the higher X2 sliding for fifth? No, seventh. Seventh in the top for top 8 we split, so that's pretty much it for the regional. 7 rounds, 79 people. Not that big of a sample size, but I feel like my build is still interesting enough to share to the public. I guess that's it. And that will be the profile for today. For I don't know. I think tomorrow I will be posting another profile. It will be a deck that I almost brought it to the tournament. I was just still say, nah, be safe, and just bring Drytron. But that was almost the deck I was gonna bring to the tournament. Um, didn't know it will be better or not, but it will be interesting enough to share. So stay tuned. There will be another video coming tomorrow, and I will hopefully to see everyone in the lab again. Who knows? And see ya.